All right. Thanks again for being here and making the time. I know it's nighttime. And it's so funny because I scheduled Tuesday night and then I realized that Monday was a holiday. So today is like the first day of classes. So you're probably like crazy overwhelmed, not knowing what's going on. Our class is over full. I ended up adding, I think, an additional 10 students on the wait list that students had come in, which tells me you probably are reading Rate My Professors. Anybody want to be honest about that? One of the things I actually do check it occasionally. It's anonymous, right? So I don't know who wrote the stuff, but I love the one that says Rick Boone's class is easy. All you got to do is do the work and show up to class and get good test grades, and you can get an A. And I'm like, yes, that's the message I want to get across. You show up and get your work done, and you absolutely can get an A in this class. And then, by the way, notice how I said that. I did not say that I will give you an A. I said that you can get an A. You can earn an A in this class, 100%. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that tonight, if that's your goal. Maybe your goal is to get a C in this class and stay a full-time student and keep your job and keep your family. Then I'll help you. I want to help you get a C too. So whatever your goals are, if it's transferring, if it's just getting a job, maybe it's a promotion, maybe you're going to a 4-year and you're coming back to take this class. I have a ton of students that do that too, because it transfers, right? And so I want to help you reach your goals, whatever those goals are. Please communicate with me if you're having a problem reaching your goals, and I can try to help direct you and tell you how to meet them. And by the way, that goes for this class and the grading of this class. That's most of the concerns usually. But I've had students come back and say, hey, I'm at work and I've got the situation. What should I do? Or I'll try to help you out. Or what college I was able to experience out of community college myself. I went to Long Beach City for 2 years at a high school. I grew up in Long Beach. And then was able to transfer to a private university, which I still have loans from 20 plus years later. Then I went to a public school, Cal State Fullerton, for my MBA, and then back at another private school for my doctorate. So I've experienced, and by the way, I'm a first person in my family to go to college. So I didn't know what was going on, right? Hence the community college, right? Which is, I'm convinced that's why I ended up back at a community college, because I had such great teachers. I had such a great experience. The access and the inexpense, is that a word? The it's cheaper, right? At the community college. It's an amazing, and my whole job is to make sure you're getting taught. When you go off into your 4-year, you'll learn that your teachers are researchers, they're publishers, they're authors. And yeah, they teach, but a lot of their responsibility is in addition to teaching, or maybe they only teach 1 or 2 classes a semester. The community colleges, you have, especially at IDC, you have amazing access to great professors who we're here to help you learn. That's our whole job. It's great. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information on me, so you know where I'm coming from. My goal for you in this class, I mentioned, your goals and how I want to help you get there, but I want to give you a little bit of insight on what I hope you're going to get out of this class. I am going to cover the syllabus. I did have to tweak the syllabus this semester a little bit. And so I want to make sure, even though there's a recording already on Canvas, I want to make sure it's clear on again, how to do well in this class and what your responsibilities are in this class. I will do some walkthroughs on Canvas as well, to make sure that it's super clear for you. Sorry, I'm like rolling up my sleeves, I'm warm. It's super clear for you how to access the information that you'll need for this class. And then super clear this week, week 1, I want to make sure that you are on clear foundation, so you can take your next steps in this class. So I want to be very clear with you on as far as like, what you have to do this week and get stuff going. I know you have a lot of, several of you have, many classes going on and juggling a bunch of those. All right, so first off, a little bit about me. I gave you a little bit about my education. Outside of high school, when I turned 18, I've been self-employed in some way or another since I was 18. And so outside of having this salary job, right, this is a job, I'm a teacher, I get paid to teach, I have some other types of self-employment going on as well. So I live business. Since I was 18, I started making balloon animals at restaurants and kids parties, and did that, all the way through, gosh, even into my undergrad. So several years, I made a part-time living while going to school making balloon animals. Um, I grew up, my dad is a meat cutter. And like I mentioned, going to school, like there wasn't a bunch of, my family supported me going to college, but there wasn't a lot of help there. They just didn't know. And so I kind of had to fumble along and try to figure it out along my way and pay my way too. And so I didn't even know what financial aid was, right? Like going into college. So all that to say, I'm hoping that my experiences can help you, not just in my college experiences or education experiences, but also my work experiences. And I really try to bring that to this class, particularly because I am not a lawyer. What you'll find is a lot of teachers that teach business law are lawyers. The other teachers at IVC, there are some other business people, but there's a lawyer as well. I appreciate the perspective of a lawyer, but the perspective of the lawyer is different from the business person. I can just say that outright. I know that. I know plenty of lawyers. What I love to do in this class is talk business with the backdrop of law so that you're understanding the legal stuff, but mostly you're understanding when to tap out and to call an actual lawyer. Because when you're learning about cases and case law and how the law works, lawyers, because that's what they know, really dive into that stuff. And from my perspective as a business person, if I'm facing a potential legal issue or if I get served papers, which has happened to me once, which I can tell you about through the class, but I'm going to call up a lawyer. If there's something that comes up in a contract and I'm like, shoot, I don't know how this is going to work. How do I fight this? What's my argument? How do I get out of it? I got to call a lawyer. But I'm not looking up case law myself to figure out, how the Supreme Court ruled on a case from 70 years ago. I do business. I don't do law. And so in this class, my goal for you is to understand the business side with the legal backdrop, if that makes sense. So I talk a lot about real life stuff in this class. A lot of this class, and you'll see this as we go through, especially when we get into Canvas, but a lot of this class, I have lectures that are recorded on each chapter. In those class, and some of them are actually older recordings that I did when I was standing in a classroom and there's a camera mounted to the ceiling. And so you get a little bit different perspectives of my talking and my interaction. And I hope that kind of variety a little bit can actually help your perspective and help your learning. It just helps to kind of mix it up a little bit sometimes. I also do on-screen note taking if you're a note taker and learn that way. I do a lot of comparisons when I write notes. And so giving you kind of two different perspectives on a topic, but always with this overarching understanding that, yeah, here's the stuff that you're reading in the book that's talking about law. There might be a case that you're reading in the book that's talking about law. You're taking some quizzes that are talking about the theory of legal stuff and the theory of law. And our book actually does a pretty decent job of bringing up business concepts too in light of law. But I'm really wanting to kind of hit home the idea that there's this law stuff going on that you have to keep in mind and you have to understand. But the primary focus is about business. This is a business class. This transfers as a business. Most of you are going to be business majors and transferring to a 4-year. I don't know what my kids might study in another, 10 minus years, but I will encourage them to take business classes because no matter what industry you all are thinking about going in, whether it's accounting, whether it's management, whether you want to start your own business, you're supporting your family and their business. Maybe you just want to be an amazing employee and work up the chain in some great corporation. You have to have an understanding of law and also the fact that no matter what that industry is, there's business that's behind it, right? You drive by the freeway, you see a huge billboard on the side of a hospital that says, we save kids' lives or whatever it says, right? That's marketing, right? There's the website, there's technology behind that website and people responding to that and building those systems. There's human resources that manage the people that work there, right? All of that's business, even though the product is helping people, usually who are sick, right? So that's my goal, is to really give you a real life business perspective coming out of this class. Of course, the law part is important. This is a business law class, but I remember when I took business law, I took it at Orange Coast College, actually before going into my master's program. And they talked about a lot of cases. I don't do that, actually. You'll read some, you'll learn about some. I'll talk about some, but it's not like every chapter is backed up by legal cases. That's a little bit different than most business law classes that you might take. The foundation's the same. I'm going to go ahead. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about my goal for you. I want to cover the syllabus to make really clear for you what you're responsible to do and how you can do well in this class. And again, I'm prefacing this with the fact that the whole grade outside of the exams, I built the grading of this course, this class, sorry, around your hard work, around your dedication and your time. Okay. Not a matter of whether I like you or not. I don't give any points away. If you email me at the end of the semester, hey Rick, can I just have a couple extra points to push me over to get a B or whatever it is? My answer is no. I don't give anything. You have to earn it in here, and you have every opportunity to earn it, and you'll see it right here. I hope that doesn't come off too harsh. I look at it as being super fair, because it's not up to me, and it's not up to, you know, where you're coming from or your individual circumstances. It really comes down to a level playing field. And one of the things I've learned in business is if you show up and you do the work and you can get it done, you're dedicated, usually you can do well. You're going to get promoted, you're going to get raises, you're going to, you know, move to another job with great opportunities. I built the class much like real life that I'm trying to portray here. Again, I hope that doesn't come off as harsh. If you have some sort of circumstance that comes up, please communicate with me. I am not, what's the word? You talk to me. If I had a student come, show up, missing for 2 weeks, student says, oh my gosh, do you remember seeing on the news where there was that head-on collision with a semi-truck and a car going the wrong direction on a one-way street? Yeah, that was me, and I was in a coma for 2 weeks. Holy cow, I want to help you out, right? Like, that's if something goes down and you get super sick, especially right now, communicate with me, please. I know what it's like to be in bed for 2 weeks. It sucks. It's horrible. Having a fever for a week long, it does weird stuff with your head. Communicate with me, please. But you'll see as we go through this, I give you some flexibility. There's due dates, but I give you enough flexibility in between those due dates that I'm hoping that we don't have to go too far off the path here. Let me go ahead and share screen real quick and I'll walk through the syllabus with you. Maybe. There it goes. I'm going to start, and this, by the way, this document, this PDF kind of a flat document, if you will, does live in Canvas. The next step after we go through the syllabus, we will look at Canvas as well. And so a lot of this information is overlapped into Canvas. I'm going to start at the end of this, the 6 pages. I'm going to start at the end of this at the schedule. And excuse me for one quick second. So I mentioned my kids were going to bed. I don't have an extra like room in the house for an office, so but I do, thankfully, and I'm blessed to have an RV. And so I'm in the driveway in my RV with a Cat 5 Ethernet cable out here, and it just got a little warm. You can't, I don't know if you can see it. There's like a curtain behind me. It's like a bed behind me up there. Anyways, I love having a little bit of peace and quiet. I know not everybody gets that, right? I have students that are logging in from the parking lot at Starbucks. So I built this class. I mentioned flexibility earlier, right? Here is everything that you're going to have to do over the semester, or at least the schedule, right? Maybe not every assignment. We'll look at that in Canvas. Here's the schedule all in one shot on this last page of the syllabus. So I want you to see right up. I tried to space it out pretty well, basically a chapter a week. There's 1 week in there where it's double chapters, but it's overlapping content. And so the schedule you'll see pretty spaced out. I'll talk about points and chapter work and exams and all that kind of stuff in a sec, but you'll see here, I've actually, over the years, I've shifted. I actually have 3 exams that are not cumulative instead of the typical kind of mid-semester, you know, big exam, midterm, and then a big final exam. So I've taken the chapters and I've broken up the exams. So you'll see here, exam number 1 is in 6 weeks. It only covers chapters 1 through 5. So again, smaller chunks of information. So if you have a hard couple weeks at the beginning, you have every opportunity to catch up your work, or to catch up and make up it by the end, make up those points. I say make up, like if you miss one chapter, that's not going to kill your grade. Again, I'll show you the points in a minute. Here's, as we continue on, oh, there shouldn't be an R here. I should take that out. These are just descriptions of the chapters. You'll see as we get in, here's exam 2 in week 12, a couple months out. We've got spring break in there. This covers just chapters 6 through 15. Here's that week 11 double chapter week. On your exam weeks, I know you're going to be spending some extra time studying and whatnot. And so I've altered on the schedule, and you'll see this in Canvas. I've altered the schedule a little bit that week to give you a little bit of extra time. Last chapters, here's our exam 3 at the end. Again, open Friday through Sunday. I'm giving you a window of time to complete the exam. Exam 3, which covers the last batch of chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. Yep. At the end of the class there. So I've built in to the system, and this is where I've given a lot of flexibility, and that's why I feel like I can be a little bit more rigid, for lack of a better term, on the actual assignment dates, because I'm giving you windows, right? So each exam, there's a 3-day window for you to get that done. Maybe you stock shelves at night, or work the night shift or something. You have a 3-day window there that you can work on. By the way, if you have to take off before I'm done, I'm going to try to stick. I ended up kind of going a little bit more, adding more stuff into what I wanted to cover with you. But if you have to take off at 8 exactly, or a little bit before, or somebody's coming in late, I got to chat. Don't worry about it. We're recording this. I will post this into the class. Again, flexibility is going to be one of the central things here in this class. So this is a great one shot. When I was a student, I would have this syllabus printed. This would be the first sheet on my binder or whatever, right? Because for me, this one shot perspective and knowing exactly what we're covering is huge information for me. I do go into more in depth in the syllabus about what these different chapter assignments are and the exams are, and they're on these following pages. You'll see it in Canvas, and so I'm not going to read line by line. I'll just pull out some highlights for you as we go through the syllabus. Here are the points for this class. I'm going to grab a drink of kombucha here. I'm not drinking early yet. Oh, that's a good batch. The grading scale for this class, again, you'll see flexibility. Focus on your work. So we see here chapter quizzes and chapter assignments. We're going to be using 2 systems in this class. One is Canvas. That's the IBC learning system. I'm sure most of you are familiar with. From what I saw on the information I got, most of you are returning students. So you've probably used Canvas before. That's one system. The other system is called Connect. McGraw-Hill is the publisher, the book that we're using. We're using their Connect system. It's a virtual system. You are not required to buy a hard copy book for my class. If you buy through the bookstore, what you're getting is a loose leaf pages. And if you want to hold something and flip pages, I get it. I actually prefer to read that way as opposed to on screen. But you don't have to buy the hard copy book. The bookstore, last I heard, they're actually taking 4 to 7 business days to ship out. But if you want that hard copy book, they actually have a really decent deal where they give you the code and that loose leaf version. And it's a pretty decent price compared to buying the book online. You don't have to buy the book. What you do have to buy is this Connect Access. This Connect Access is all virtual. You can access it on your laptop. I think you could even use your phone or a tablet or something else to access the class information. So you can kind of read basically the content, really flexible for you. And by the way, I'm giving you points for doing the reading. So when you're reading this chapter assignment in McGraw-Hill, the publisher, their system is called Connect Online. They have this feature called Smart Book. I'm throwing a bunch of lingo at you. I'm sorry. A lot of the business classes at IBC use this system. So you'll probably get more familiar with it if you're a business major, excuse me. And so this smart book basically is a more interactive way to read through the material. So you're not just reading a flat PDF, from page 1 to 40. It might be more interactive. It's going to ask you questions along the way. And I've actually had students come back and say that they liked it. And so I don't know about you, but I didn't read too many books through my college, like cover to cover, right? Like you kind of read what you need to read through. The smart book gives you a little bit more interaction and again, positive feedback from students for the smart book. You're getting 8 points each chapter just for doing the reading. Okay. So I mentioned your hard work, showing up, dedication, right? We're talking about 17 weeks here, right? So if you're going to get all those points, that's dedication. I'm also giving you, oh, by the way, Monday to Sunday, you have this window, a week-long window to do this reading for each chapter, 1 chapter a week, except for one of those weeks. I'm also giving you points for quizzes, 8 points each chapter. So at the end of the smart book reading and the interactive reading, you're going to get your points. When you take the quiz by the end of that week on Sunday, you're going to get points for that quiz, 8 points. You can take it as many times as you want. All right. So far, you're seeing that you have total control over your grade here. If you get in there, do the reading, do the quizzes, and even if you don't get a great grade on that quiz, 8 points, you can take it again to get your full points there if your A is your goal. In the class and in Canvas, I have different ways where I will be interacting with you. I mentioned to you already that I have recorded lectures for the chapters. So that's one way you're at least seeing my face, hearing my voice. I'm giving you notes, kind of like we were sitting in class together, right? So you have those accessible to you. Again, flexibility. You have a week long to do all these assignments. You can watch that video at 4 a.m. if you want, when you get off work, or at noon on your lunch break, or whatever your schedule is, or in between classes. That video for the lecture gives you a lot of flexibility in getting the information. I'm overlapping theory and law from the book with my real life stuff. That's where my lectures focus on. So when it comes to exam time, the exam questions, some of them I've written myself, some of them I've taken from the publisher, but the content and the questions I'm really asking you about what is that overlap of theory, law, and real life, right? So you will get some questions that look similar to maybe a quiz question, but I'm also going to be asking you about stuff that's real life that you're going to be learning in the lectures, in the video lectures, and you'll see on screen what I call exercises and the discussions. So my video lecture is my overlap of book, theory, law, and real life overlapping. The exercise is the same kind of thing, but it's on paper, on screen. These are not meant to be difficult, but they are meant to walk you through kind of this connection and overlap of real life and law. So my exercise, and I created those all from scratch for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 that I borrowed from a colleague or something. But the exercises are step by step. Do this, answer questions this, answer this question, answer that question. Again, they're not meant to be hard, but they're meant to, in some ways, have you interact with the content, overlapping real life and theory and law. The discussions, in a similar way, I take one of the concepts out of the chapter for that week, and I'm having you do a discussion board. Oh, perfect. I haven't used a live transcribe, so that just popped up. Hopefully that's helpful. The exercises, again, a written way to overlap real life and law. The discussions are a way that you're participating with other students that are in the class. So what I ask for in the discussions, we will see this in a minute in Canvas, is that you create a post by Thursday night, and then you're going to be responding to at least 2 other people by Sunday night. The discussions are not meant to be hard. Same thing here, right? What I ask of you in the discussions, what's great about the discussions is that there is no right or wrong answer. What I ask for you in the discussions is simply for you to back up your perspective. You can have whatever opinion you want, but I want to see, as the teacher, I want to see your why or the because. I believe this and this because, and then you're giving your reason. I do have some guidance on quantity, like a number of sentences, but that's really a matter of trying to gauge the quality, if that makes sense. If you're passing a student in the hallway and you say, hey, how's it going? Good job today. How quality of an interaction is that, right? If you throw out a sentence, oh, I loved how you talked about your experiences in business. Okay. Right, what would be the next step, right? 2-3 sentences that are going to actually have some sort of interaction between you and another person. So the discussions, again, not meant to be difficult, no right or wrong answer, so long as you're supporting your answer and then you're interacting with your peers in the class. We'll talk more about that in a sec. The exams, again, there's 3 different exams. I had to adjust some of these points, and I actually increased these points in these 2 areas so that the class, even more so now than when I've taught this previous semesters, even more so now based on the effort and the work that you're putting in, not based on a random day. Maybe you have a bad day, maybe you have test anxiety, maybe you're having technical issues, maybe you're sick. Less emphasis on more assignments here. And then on the exams, where some people might feel like you don't know how you're going to do on a test, right? Especially that first one, you don't know what to expect. If you bomb a test, in this point structure, you can see that that one bad test grade is not going to dictate your final letter grade, not by itself, right? If you kill it in the first 4 sections here in points, then that one bad test grade is not going to dictate your grade. So there's a lot of room here for you, again, to work dedicated, show up, get the job done, for you to earn the grade that you want here. Some of you are already doing the math and you're like, all right, what's the lowest? If I do everything else, what's the lowest test grades that I can get to get an A in this class? And you'll see there, right, about a third of the class. Each test makes up about 10+% of your grade. So I'll let you do the rough math on that. Scrolling through the syllabus, again, we're going backwards through the syllabus, but you'll see, I just found my own typo. I adjusted those points. So this is not accurate. The graph is accurate. You'll see those points in Canvas. All my points are put into Canvas, so you have all access to getting accurate information on your grade at any point. The exercise and the discussions, again, I kind of talk a little bit about the goal of that, what the point is of that. And again, really it's about mixing and overlapping for you to kind of grapple with these concepts that we're reading about and learning about, and kind of forcing you in some way to make an opinion for yourself. I've actually had students come back. As a student, I haven't always loved discussion boards, participating in discussion boards. It's like, I was like, 11:58 guy on my responses, right? Like, I got to get it done. I got to click submit before it's late. I'm a little bit of a procrastinator. So I understand when students do it too. When I see responses at, 11:59 p.m., it's like, wait, they didn't even finish their sentence. They had to click submit right before it was late. I'm forcing you in some ways here to create your own opinion for you. But again, I have that idea that there's no right or wrong answer so long as you're supporting your perspective. That's all I'm looking for. Law is a little bit more rigid, right? When we're talking about the law, there's usually a right and a wrong way to go about it. When you're doing business, it's rarely ever that rigid. Rarely that rigid. Quizzes, I mentioned again, in Connect, 8 points each. You get as many tries as you want on those quizzes. Go to town. If you want that full 8 points every week, you have the opportunity to gain them, to earn them. Again, the homework the same way, right? That SmartBook thing. If you haven't used SmartBook before, I'll show you in Canvas where I have a tutorial, no points. You don't have to do it, but it's there to help you if you haven't used the system before. Again, my note here of no late work. Figure I give you a lot of flexibility in these week-long windows. If you can't get it done in that week-long window, from what I've seen from students, it's very, very rare that a student can try to catch up and do all of the old work and then still do well in the current work. Not to mention next week's work, right? And your other classes. All that to say is I'm hoping this 1 week scheduling window of time gives you enough flexibility to do well. If something comes up, please reach out to me. Another note on my no late work. This comes from the college. So one of the things I really like about IVC, one of the things, there's many things. I think IVC is an amazing campus. Great teachers, great support systems. If you need help outside of my class, you're like, oh my gosh, Rick, this thing just happened. Is there anything you can do to help me? Where can I go? Who can I call? There's a bunch of services at IVC. I have a couple links that are in the syllabus for you for that. But feel free to reach out. I would love to help you out. Yeah. Here's the letter grades that they have at IVC. One of the reasons I like this, there's no pluses and minuses. And so basically this percentage score is going to give you that letter grade at the end of the semester. So again, in Canvas, you can keep track of this and you can follow this and make sure you're earning all the points that are due. When it comes time at the end of the semester, this is the percentage that we're looking at for that final letter grade. Pretty cut and dry. So people are like, oh, I really need a couple extra points. I need that 88% to get a plus or something, right? We don't have that at IVC. I reserve the right. I almost never have to do this. And I have never done this where it has hurt a student. But I have this in here just to cover my own butt a little bit. If I have to update something or business law class, this syllabus is a contract between me and you. If I do something that is against this syllabus, you can complain about it and you'll win. Because this syllabus is telling you the terms for this class in essence. And so this syllabus actually holds weight. Your first lesson in business law here. The syllabus is your contract. Although you guys are in contracts for everything, for your cell phones. Some of you are renting, apartments or houses. You lease a car. You clicked I accept on your app on your phone. And I know none of you read that disclosure that's 5 swipes, 12 swipes up. Nobody reads that. But you click I accept on it, don't you? Mm-hmm. That's your contract. So this is not your first contract, I'm sure. Here are some of those support systems that are in place again at IVC. I'm not going to read through them all, but there's links in here. There's phone numbers. Again, always feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to forward you on to any office or people that I know that can help you out in your situation. Email, especially pandemic and with the campus closed, email is going to be the fastest way. I put on here to give me 24 to 48 hours. I'll tell you that my usual response time to emails is less than a day, and it could be like in 20 minutes. I've been self-employed for my whole adult life in some way. I was solely self-employed for like 9 years, where the only income I made was based off of my own work, right? Some of you have been self-employed, you know what I'm talking about. It's grueling and it's never ending. It's 24/7. So my mentality, even though I get paid a salary and we have days off, like a vacation day yesterday, I've got my email, I'm checking my emails, they're on my phone, they're on my computer. I try to get back to emails as quickly as possible. That's going to be the fastest. I also have, I'll mention it now, I'll show you in Canvas. I also have office hours where I'm literally sitting in a Zoom room, oftentimes by myself. If you have questions that pop up, feel free to come into my office hours and chat with me. I'm happy to chat and help you and figure stuff out. So I have my office hours, or if you can't meet during those office hours, give me an email and we can communicate. We can arrange some other time to chat. These are the two systems that I mentioned already that you're going to be using through this class. One is Canvas. I have the link here for you. It's off the IVC homepage, right? Canvas is through the campus. The other one is this McGraw-Hill Connect system. I will show you how to access this once we hit Connect, once we hit Canvas in a minute. You will need to be online for this class. Some of you, that might be a challenge. I have had students take this class all on their cell phone. More so my real estate classes. I teach real estate as well. I head up the real estate program. I've built those classes even more flexible with technology. This one, I think that Connect system does work on mobile devices. So depending on what your connectivity looks like, if you need a computer, I know for a fact that the campus has loaner computers for you to use while you're a student. They used to have hotspots last year, but from what I heard recently, they weren't working very well, or they weren't working consistently. So if you don't have reliable internet, I mean, this is an online class, right? You're going to need internet. Worst case scenario, if you're near campus, you can get free Wi-Fi at the campus. Or chances are, if you don't have internet at home or reliable internet, you probably have a local understanding of what's available to you. If there's something I can do to help, let me know. But obviously, you're going to have to be online for this fully online class. Some class guidelines. Again, a lot of this is kind of boilerplate. Again, it's contract-ish type stuff, right? Don't cheat. This is your own work. Right? When you're in discussion boards, be respectful of other people's opinions. You can disagree, but be respectful. And so just some general information in our behavior, if you will, in the classroom. Course materials, I mentioned the hard copy textbook is not required, but I am requiring this Connect access. And by the way, it's less expensive, right? Because you're not paying for the printing and the paper and all that stuff. The last price I heard, I want to say it was around 50 or 60 bucks. What I really like about this too is if you don't have that money right now, you're starting 5 classes and you can't afford $1,000 for books. 57 after tax. Thank you so much. You guys are on that. Perfect. And again, I'll show you how to access this in just a second. The Connect access, the cost. If you can't afford to pay for it, this Connect system access, they give you a 2-week trial for free. That's what I was trying to say. And so if you want to get in there and start working on your stuff, we're in week 1, right? We have chapter 1 this week. Get in there, start working on it. You don't have to pay for it until like week 3. When that 2-week trial expires. So don't let the cost of this book, the digital virtual access only, again, 57 bucks. Don't let that stop you from getting going and doing the work for this class. Some general links, if you didn't know it, you have access to Office 365 as a student at IBC. So some students, if you're not buying Microsoft or you don't have a Mac or something, just a note here in Canvas, I'll just bring it up now. Canvas, and what I can see in Canvas, if you're going to be turning in actual documents, I can only see docs and PDFs. I cannot see pages files. So if you are using a Mac, please convert it, because I won't be able to see it. It's basically like a blank page. There's nothing there. Oh, great example. I love this section, this drop policy. Once you log into Canvas and I can see that you are alive in Canvas, I can see the minutes, like the total minutes type of thing. It doesn't show me like exactly your clicks or anything, but I can see that you were in there. Once I see that you're in Canvas, I'm counting you as being present. You're here in this class. After that happens, it's your responsibility to drop. You might have some teachers that say, oh, if you don't show up for 2 weeks, or if you miss 3 assignments, then I'm going to drop you. I reserve the right to do that, but I'm not your mom or your dad. I'm not your parent. This is a college class. I don't drop students. And the reason is I could give you several examples of when I've had a student come back and say, oh, you just dropped me. I need this class. I have to finish this class. I was just sick for 2 weeks. Can I get back in? It's really difficult to mess around with that stuff. All that to say, once you're here, you're in the class, and if you're going to drop, that's on you. As a student at OCC, even after my bachelor's degree, I went back and took a welding class. I thought it'd be interesting to learn how to weld. Oh, you put pieces of metal together. It was kind of cool, right? I want to learn how to do that. But I was working and was married, and early on in my marriage, and I started getting busy. And so I just stopped showing up to the welding class. I went to apply for my master's in business, and all of a sudden, here's my OCC transcript that says F in welding. And I was like, no, what? It messed up my GPA, right? For me to be able to get into my program. So I had to do a whole bunch of work to get that F off of my transcript. That's what will happen if you don't drop this class and you stop working. Because at the end of the semester, if your name is on my roster, I have to give you a letter grade. I look in Canvas and I see the points that you earned, and that's going to be your letter grade. So if you stop working in this class and you know you can't finish, please drop it. Because at the end of the class, I'll have to give you an F. If you have something that comes up in the middle of this class and you're like, I don't know that I can catch up, I'm going to have to drop. When you get to that point, please send me an email. I've had students that, and this is no judgment, freak out and you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can catch up. I'm going to get an F. What am I going to do? It's going to kill my life. I won't be able to transfer, right? And you start like going down that road of like panic. But sometimes it's not that bad. And maybe I can walk through the assignments with you and show you how your points, right? Because I've given you a lot of opportunities to earn points here over the 17 weeks. Depending on where you're having those issues, maybe you can bring that grade back. So please reach out if you're having issues. Please contact me. I hope that's one of the big things you're hearing in this. Please reach out if you need something. But at the end of the day, again, if your name is on that roster at the end of the class, I have to give you a letter grade. We're going to be online. Another typo here. I apologize. This is a 17-week class. We do a 10-week class over summer. That's where this language came from. I apologize. Student learning outcomes. These are some of the things that you're going to be learning through in the course. And the course description. All this, by the way, is available on the schedule and the catalog and stuff. Here's some information about the class with some dates. I have asterisks here. Okay, this is my legal, like, hey, by the way, it's your responsibility, check the schedule. But I check the schedule too, and these dates should be pretty close to accurate. If you need a drop, you get your money back by the 30th. Last day to drop without a W, the February 6th, and then with a W, April 14th. I also, again, at the top of the syllabus here, have my office hours. Again, I have my office room. It's in Bistic, but we're not on campus right now. This is a fully online class. So as of now, I'm just planning on doing all these hours in Zoom. But again, if you can't be there or if you miss it, it's like Wednesday and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to Rick. Send me an email. I can give you a call or we'll chat. We'll figure it out. My phone number is here, but this does go to my campus phone. I do get the voicemails though. So if you hate email or your email's down or whatever's going on and you just have to call, there's my phone number. I'll get the message to my email. That's the syllabus. I didn't have any questions come up in the chat. Either saving them for me or I was just like that clear. I just did an amazing job on the syllabus. Please, again, enter any questions in the chat. And I'll go ahead if you want to unmute as I switch over. I'm going to go into Canvas now. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to ask a question as well. Connect includes the ebook. That is correct. Let me rephrase that. The term ebook can mean different things. In Connect, there is this smart book functionality that they have that allows you to read the book on screen. An ebook that you might be able to download to a device and read kind of on a flat, if that makes sense. I don't know if they have that. So depending on what you mean by ebook. But Connect Access, the exams are, the content, the pages, the words are online. SmartBook is the interactive tool for that. The exams are not proctored. I know some people really panic about having cameras on you and systems that are working on your systems while you're taking a test. I've heard a lot of concerns and challenges that have come up with that. So I do not do the proctored exams. So some people might look at that and go, oh, all the students are going to cheat. I don't believe that. I also do put in some other things. So the exams, and of course, when it comes closer to exam time, I go through all this again, but I'll just give you a heads up now. The exams, I have test banks set up. Some of the questions do come from the publisher, but some of the questions I make up myself. So these are not cookie cutter exams. So for example, for exam chapter number 1, I might have 30 questions in a pool, a POOL, a pool of questions for chapter 1, but you're only going to get 12 of those 30. And so every student in essence is going to have a different exam because all the questions are going to be kind of randomized in that way. The answers as well might be randomized. And so that's a couple of ways that I come in assuming that, most students aren't going to cheat, but especially when you're online, right? Like you can Google something pretty quick, let's be honest. So the questions are going to be randomized. The answers are going to be randomized. They're not cookie cutter questions that are only coming from the publisher. I also time the exams. And so that's one other way too. Like there's just simply not enough time for you to look up every answer on the test. That's just the case. So there's a couple different ways to avoid, I don't want to say even avoid cheating, to help you like find motivation to study and prep. But I'll tell you again, the content that I'm focusing on the exams are primarily coming from the video lectures, the subjects that we're discussing in the discussion boards, and that we're doing in the exercises. So yeah, you're reading the book, you're learning about the laws and some of the cases and the theory, but when you're actually participating in the class, you're watching the lecture, you're doing an interactive discussion that focuses on some real life stuff. That's really the meat for the exams. That's what I'm focusing on for the exams. Hope that clarifies a little bit for you. Let me go ahead and pull up Canvas. And then again, any other questions, feel free to pop those in the chat. And then I'll give you another opportunity to unmute. I said we're going 7 to 8. That gives me about 8 more minutes. So I'll go through this next 8 more minutes, and then I'll be happy to clarify for you if you need anything else. I'm looking at the student's view here in Canvas, so you can see approximately what it's going to look like for you. When you go on, I try to make the menus on the left here super simple for you. The home and the syllabus page are actually, they're set up to be the same. So that's even like one link there. Access connecting to McGraw-Hill Connect. This is your book, your virtual book, right here on the left, right? So this is how I would prefer you access, even purchase your access to the McGraw-Hill Connect system for your book. Once you do it through Canvas and then go into Connect to purchase or access, now you're connecting those two systems. And so your grades in Connect will be coming into Canvas automatically. And you'll see, and I'll click on the grade book, every single assignment for this whole class is listed in the grade book. My understanding is for you as a student, you actually have some tools on your end where you can view your grades and view it in different ways. Like, where is your grade at today for only the points that have been due today? Not taking into account that, exam 3 that we're not even there yet, right? So there's ways for you to grade or view your grades so you can keep track of your stuff and be on it. And this connection between Connect and Canvas is really helpful for my students because all the grades come into one place for you. So that's the access for the book. You'll see this link for the PDF version that we just looked through of the syllabus. Here's the Zoom link for my office hours and the hours that I'm sitting in that Zoom room, just waiting to talk to you. Honestly, though, I'm logged in and sitting there. So if you have questions that come up, please feel free to hop in. Or again, send me an email. My email's right here. Set up another time or email off a quick question. I'm happy to respond by email. And again, that's usually the fastest way that I'm going to respond. You'll see here, again, similar to that printed syllabus we looked at, that first page that we looked at, page 6. Here is all of your assignments and the due dates. So you can actually Canvas, if you want, in your settings, you can actually pair this to your calendar. Some students do that, some don't. But all the assignments are here scheduled for the whole class. So I do a ton of my work up front for these online classes because I've seen over and over again that when you can see it all up front and you know what's expected of you, it's much easier for you to participate and do a good job because you know what's coming. So every assignment. In addition to them sorted by date here on this syllabus homepage, here is the primary link that you'll be using for your actual work and your tools. So here's your starred tab button right here, the modules button. Every week I have broken up into work that you need to do. I've been teaching online for a long time now. This for me is huge. And if you can track, I know every teacher does this different, right? So I'm hoping this is consistent for you, but here's the week 1 module. You'll see there's a syllabus review in there, right? I'm updating it with this one I'm doing with you live right now, and I'll update it as soon as I can get it closed captioned. Here's another syllabus review. I think one of these I did in the classroom. Here's that optional. If you've never used McGraw-Hill Connect, you've never used SmartBook before, here's an assignment, quote unquote, after you get into that system. It's 0 points, but it's going to show you how SmartBook works. And it's going to show you how to get those 8 points each chapter for doing this SmartBook assignment. Here's the chapter 1 video lecture, right? Covering the content in chapter 1. My voice, me talking about the chapter, talking about real life stuff. Here's your assignments for points, right? Chapter 1 SmartBook, you'll see 8 points and the due date. Chapter 1 quiz, 8 points and the due date. This is Sunday, by the way. Your week 1 discussion, basic week 1. I'm just doing introduce yourself. I have a couple prompts. Why are you taking the class? What do you hope to learn? What has your experience been? That kind of stuff. Your due date for your initial posts this week is a little short, starting Tuesday, but this is due on Thursday night. But it's not difficult, right? You can go in 3 to 4 sentences. I'll look at the discussion boards with you in just a minute so you can see what those points look like. I can't imagine what some of you guys are chatting about right now. Week 2, you're like, this professor's nuts. Week 2 right here, clear perspective of what you're responsible for. Again, lecture videos. Here's a lecture of me talking. Here's some additional videos that I think actually might be in this lecture, but they're there if you want to see them on your own. They're just YouTube links. This was 2 separate lectures that I did over this chapter. And here's your assignments. Again, so I tried to set this up as consistent as possible week by week, so you know exactly what you got to do well in this class. Chapter SmartBook, the reading, chapter quiz, over and over again, as many times as you want. The week 2 discussion, due Thursday night, and then responses due Sunday. Week 2 exercise, right? We didn't do this in week 1, but we're starting here in week 2 with the week 2 exercise. And just to give you an example of what that might look like, I'll open one up here. Oh, it's locked. There you go. I also learned early on in online education that if I give you too much information up front, it can be overwhelming. So I give you all the dates and you can see everything that you got to do, but you can't actually get in there and do it yet until it's that week. But it's a 1-page explanation. I give you an example, or I might have you watch a video, or I give you something to read, and then I'll ask you like 3, 4, 5 questions about it. Again, rarely is there a right or wrong answer in these. It's really about your opinion on most of these exercises. So I see some things coming up in the chat. I'll address those questions in just a second. Coming back to the modules tab, because I keep wanting to refer back to this. Looking at the discussion, let me open this up here real quick. You'll notice that there's a rubric. So the grading that I do on the discussion boards are done on a rubric. It's 10 points. I want you to see, sorry, I've got a couple different windows open here. Let me move some stuff around. On your screen, you should see, there we go, the 3 dots. Let's do that. Your initial post, due Thursday. To earn your 5 points, we're talking about 3 to 4 well-written sentences, addressing the question, and your opinion is backed by facts, right? This is your because, right? I believe this because. Due Thursday night by 11:59. So again, 3 to 4 sentences a paragraph, expressing your point of view, your opinion, backing it up. Maybe it's a little bit shorter, right? And there's some subjectivity to this, right? But this gives you at least some guidelines for you to control. The first week after week 1, I grade this discussion board really quick, so that when you go into week 2, you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do now. I got 10 out of 10 on that discussion. Or you're like, oh shoot, I only got an 8. I missed 2 points. Again, not the end of the world in this class out of 800 points. But going into week 2, you're going to know exactly what you got to do. Here's the rubric. You can look it over so you know. Here's your responses. Due Sunday. Again, a decent quality response to 2 people in the class. So hopefully that rubric gives you a little bit of guidance on how to do this discussion board thing. So the smart book reading, I gave you the orientation if you've never done it before, but you can read. You're going to read and get points for it. The quizzes in Connect, again, you're getting 8 points for that. Do it over and over again. Get your full points if you want. This discussion board, I'm giving you a rubric and real clear guidance on how to earn your full points. The exercise, I grade those at the end of the week. So there's a little bit of like, oh, how well do I have to do this? Answer the questions and give your reasoning. And then we've got the exams. Again, coming back one more time to this modules tab. The exams are kind of the unknown, right? But again, the focus is a little bit more on the real life. And that's how you'll, in prepping that way for the exams and studying for the exams, or starting from chapter 1, right? Kind of holding on a little bit more to when we're talking about real life stuff in the law. That's what the exams are going to be focused on. So you'll see week 2, again, all those resources, the assignments. Week 3, resources, assignments. Week 4, resources, assignments. Week 5, and then our first exam is at week 6. It's already scheduled in there. So again, everything should be scheduled in here. You should be able to see everything in this modules tab, or on the home page of Canvas, the syllabus tab. Again, those are the same thing. Or on the syllabus itself. Again, there may be a mistake in here, but I spent a ton of time setting this stuff up for you guys, so it's set up as right as it can be from the get-go. Are we meeting regularly? Question in the chat. We are not. So this is a fully online class. It was not slated to have specific meeting times. I will schedule with you all at different times through the semester like this. Hey, I'll be online tonight, 7 to 8. I'll be discussing XYZ or something like that. Come to my office hours if you have questions. That's an opportunity for you to be live with me face to face. Or if you just simply have a question, again, feel free to email me. But we will not have regular setup meetings. You will have a lot of flexibility between Monday and Sunday to get this work done. A little bit, oh, now everybody's chatting. Save it till the end. I'll read through these and then I'll stop recording if you want to actually have a little bit of kind of live conversation. Got a little confused. The book isn't required, but the Connect access is. That is correct. The hard copy book is not required for this class. The McGraw-Hill Connect access that you're seeing on the left, McGraw-Hill Connect, when you click on that link, it's going to take you to their website. Now, if you buy a code from the bookstore, or if you go directly to McGraw-Hill Connect and buy it directly from them, that's okay too. But at some point, when you're in Canvas, you use this link, you're going to connect your accounts. You're going to be in Canvas, and then you're going to log into Connect and make sure that those two systems are talking. And the biggest benefit of that is for you, when you go into this grade book, all of this stuff, all of this chapter, the quiz and the smart book for every chapter is going to auto-populate here for you. It's a huge benefit. You do the exam is going to pop in here. And that way you are seeing, outside of my having to manually input some grades, you're seeing like a live week by week picture of what your points are. So that's why I really encourage you to connect those two systems. Hopefully that's clear. Connect gives you online book. Yep, correct. Or at least a digital version of the content in the book, right? Somebody used the term ebook. I just wanted to be clear that term means different things for different people. And I see that some of you are answering the questions in here for your other classmates. I appreciate that. Oh, there's a McGraw-Hill app. Oh, okay, cool. So you can use that more for specific, for your mobile applications and maybe bookmarking different chapters and that kind of thing. Do you get knocked for going over the 3 to 4 sentences? So no, I don't. If you want to write, don't write more than 2 paragraphs though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be frank with you. If we're sitting in a hallway and you start talking at me for 10 minutes, like that's not a quality interaction either, right? Because I don't even get to talk or answer back. So I would say at most like 2 paragraphs. But in general, no, I want you to have quality interactions here, right? So that might mean a little extra writing, and that's fine. For me, as far as the scoring goes, I wanted to be really clear about the minimum quality that I'm expecting for those full points. So that's where the rubric comes in for the explanations there. So in the prompt in each discussion board, to answer the next question in the chat, I give a prompt. I ask for your opinion on a certain topic, and I'm asking you for about 3 to 4 sentences on that prompt, not 4 paragraphs. Believe me, none of your classmates want to read 4 paragraphs in a discussion board. If you want to have a deep conversation or something offline or another format, that's awesome. Let's discuss it. We can open it up to the class. I'll do a Zoom session if you want to talk about business stuff. But yeah, for the discussion boards, 3 to 4 sentences total. Yeah, for your initial response. I've seen some pretty interesting things that people try to count for sentences. So again, I'm just trying to give you a guidance on the quantity. It really is more about the quality. But the 3 to 4 gives you a kind of a clear thing to check off, if you will. Just scrolling back through the chat real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything else. I think that was it. So I'll go ahead and stop recording. Your takeaway this week 1 for this class, get into Canvas. Priority number 1. Get into Canvas, make sure you can click around and see the menus. If you don't see this class in your schedule or in your Canvas over here on courses, that's a problem, right? Let's get that ironed out this week. Step 2, get into Canvas. Step 2, get into Connect. If you can't pay for it right now, do the free 2-week trial and at least get going on chapter 1. If you've never used SmartBook before, again, I have that optional orientation that shows up in the modules, right? That's kind of our go-to. The direct links to the lectures, the assignments, and all that stuff is all in the modules tab. Hopefully that gives you a really clear picture of what you need to get going on in this class, where you can find the information. And I've answered all the questions in the chat, so hopefully we're good there. I'll go ahead and stop recording, and then if anybody else has any other questions you want to speak up or chat or using the chat box too.